Hello there, pretty people of the internet, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Annika, and as of today, I am officially done with law school. I guess it's not officially done since I haven't had graduation yet, but today marks the last day in which I've had any schoolwork due. And it was just a meeting with a professor. It went great. I am done. Both before law school and throughout law school, I've always heard this like, oh, law school is so hard, rhetoric. Both like around me with students and when people are reacting to sort of like asking what I'm doing, and I'm like, oh, I'm a law student, they're all like,
wow, law school.
So today I guess I just wanted to talk about whether law school is actually hard or not. Please keep in mind that of course this is my subjective opinion. I'm trying to find like some objective criteria to sort of base my judgment on, but obviously my experience is going to be completely different to everyone else's. My background is different, what I've done during law school is different, where I've gone to law school is going to be different, but these are just some of the things that I think about when I sort of consider like what's been hard with law school and what has been easier with law school than expected. These are the few of the things that I've been thinking about. Brief background about me so that you know sort of where I'm coming from.
I'm from Norway. That's where I finished the IB program back in 2014. I got my undergraduate's degree at Oregon State University in 2 years, graduated in 2016, summa cum laude, so I got very good grades on that. Then I got my master's degree in international peace and security from King's College London, graduated in 2017, at the same time as I started my law degree here at University of Oregon in 2017, graduating now in 2020.
I'm graduating top 10%. I think my grades don't really matter because everyone's graded on a curve, so I feel like the percentage sort of gives you a better perspective of how I'm doing compared to my classmates. So top 10%, which was hard, but I did it. The summer between my 2L and 3 years, my second and third year of law school, I had a baby who I've been home with a lot during my final year of law school. During law school, I also did a journal or law review, which is like editing work for articles. I also worked throughout second and third year of law school. I have clerked with the Oregon Department of Justice. So I haven't just been doing school. I had a lot of other things going on as well. So is law school hard? Yes and no, which is like one of the most lawyer answers you will get. It depends. Certain things are very hard. First of all, you're not expected to just be a student. You're expected now to be a professional, an adult. You're expected to show up, be professional, be prepared. So you're always supposed to be in that like professional role already throughout school and sort of like practice for that. So you can't just be a student. I mean, some people still show up like in slacks and stuff like that, but there's a higher level of expectation for your work, timeliness, both like showing up to things, deadlines, keeping your word, things like that. You're also supposed to be working throughout law school, so not like full-time work, but like clerking, getting internships and externships, doing legal work. Throughout law school. For a lot of us, we also have to work because we need to make money for our families. So some of us even have to do non-legal jobs just because we need to get paid. So that is also difficult. The academic work you do is a lot harder. It's a lot more and it's a lot more intense. Like the answer isn't just kind of like handed to you and you just have to like memorize it. You have to actually understand the material because you have to apply it in so many different ways. And I know this is true for a lot of things, but it's like, I don't know, it's different in a sense. So you might read like a paragraph out of a case and you'll spend an entire lecture pulling apart the language in that paragraph because it's so important. So especially your first and for parts of your second year as well, you're just overwhelmed because you don't know what you're looking for. You don't know what you're supposed to learn, supposed to know, so it's a lot of uncertainty and that drives people mad. And that is also something that's like the fourth thing that's very difficult, is that there's a lot of ambiguity and you have to learn to get comfortable in that ambiguity. Basically all of law school is just tearing down all the things you thought you knew and like relearning them. So tearing down your like how you read exam questions, how you write. There's like multiple courses dedicated to legal research and writing because it's so different from all other research and writing you're doing. I've always seen myself as a fairly good academic writer, And I still struggled a lot my first year in my legal writing class because it was such a different way of writing and so many new rules to follow that it was just overwhelming. Law school is also hard for people because at this point people are often getting tired of school. So either you've had people like me who've been in school for, at that point, 15 years back to back to back, who's starting to get tired, or you have people who have worked for a bit and who are tired of school because they want to go back and do the work. They like working, they like making money, they like having a professional reputation for themselves. And going back to school kind of feels like a pause. So people are sort of more antsy, they're more eager to get out of there. So that's very different. Also, most law schools are a lot smaller than normal universities. Like my law school were about like 400 people at a university of like 32,000, I think. So we're a very small, close-knit community. So it often feels kind of more like high school socially than undergrad. People are more mature than high school, but still you have cliques and you have drama, and we even have like a physical locker room to put our books in. We have all the same professors, at least for a while. We have classrooms to get like in the same building. Like we're just like isolated to one building, the law school at my school. So you see the same people all the time, which is both a blessing and a curse because you get really close to people and professors, but also where people don't like each other, there's a lot of conflict, and it's hard to get away from that conflict, if that makes sense. Law school is also hard because you are often graded on a curve, so no matter how well you do, if someone else does better than you, that affects your grade. So that can feel very unfair, especially for those of us who are sort of like lazy people who are like, well, we get it, we won't get 100%, and that can significantly impact your grades. Grades also matter a lot, especially in the beginning, and depending on what kind of work you want to do, but in the beginning it matters a lot for getting that first job. So getting that first internship, that first summer job. If you want to do like large firm jobs, especially large firm litigation and transaction work, your grades matter a lot, and it's very hard to change your grades. Sort of like the first 2 semesters, unless something like drastic happens in your life that really impacts your grades, that sort of sets how you're gonna do for the rest of law school. Like you might move up and down a little bit, but everyone gets better as you go along. So some people are thinking like, oh, like my second year, like I get everything now, I'm gonna work so hard, I'm gonna take classes I know I'll do well in, I'll really bump my GPA and increase my ranking. And for most people it doesn't really happen because everyone thinks like that. So I've been like within the same 9 percentage points difference my whole time in law school. Like from max to min, that has been sort of where I've been at. So even though my grades have changed drastically, my ranking hasn't really been affected that much. A few of the things that have made law school easier for me than I think other people is I'm a lot more comfortable with ambiguity and uncertainty. I'm a lot more comfortable saying it depends. On the one hand, we have these factors, on the other hand, we have these factors. Some people really like yes or no answers, and that's not the case for law school. So if you can be comfortable with that coming in, that's going to help you a lot. I also had excellent study habits coming into law school from the IB. I've talked about this so many times. My study habits from the IB carried through undergrad, grad school, and now law school, and has really helped me be efficient at studying, really picking out what's important. And I have very good set like habits, like my highlighting routine, how I read and then take notes, how I take notes in class, how I compile that. Some things I've obviously had to figure out in law school because every class is different and require different things, but I've been able to use tools from my like solid repertoire of study habits and have been able to pull those out and haven't really had to make up new things as I go, which has saved me a lot of time and a lot of energy. What else is hard about law school? Certain things makes law school more difficult. Obviously having a family takes a lot of time and energy. You can't study whenever, that's big. If you have to work, how much you have to work. Law school is really expensive, so most of us have some type of job, Some people are lucky and get legal jobs they get paid for because of my visa status. That hasn't really been something I've been willing to do and haven't been able to do. So family, work, maturity level, and how comfortable you are being where you are. If you're constantly just like trying to be better than other people, then you're gonna lose focus of sort of like the end goal, which is my fourth one. Like if you have an end goal in mind, most people find it easier. And if it's a flexible end goal, because some people come in and they're like, I want to do criminal law, this is the one thing I want to do, and then they realize they don't like criminal law, and then everything sort of collapses. But if you're like, I want to be a good lawyer who does good things to my community, then it's like, well, your law degree will help you get there, but it's a lot more flexible in sort of what path you take, what jobs you get, what classes you excel in, what area you feel comfortable in. Good physical and mental health habits. The stress is real in law school. It can be super, super competitive. It can be high stress. Everyone's telling you all the time that everyone's so stressed. Law students and lawyers have much higher rates of mental health issues and substance abuse issues than other professionals. And that comes from the environment we're in. Like, it's both, yes, it is stressful, but we're also stressing each other out. So you need to have good habits to deal with your mental and physical health, and you need to have a good network of people who help you do well and calm you down and not just stress you out. Testing format is also difficult in law school because you have so many different testing formats. You have multiple choice, short answer questions, obviously papers for some classes, and then long answer questions. But bottom line for all of it is that you're issue spotting. So you are looking for a legal issue, usually for everything that's short answer, or not really short answer, everything that's like paper and long essay exam. There are factors on either side. So again, you have to be comfortable with that ambiguity. And for multiple choice and short answer, you just have to believe that, like, you just have to know the testing style of your professor, whether they're trying to trick you or whether they're trying to test your understanding of a fairly straightforward law, just to see if you know it, or rule. Most of my professors are not trying to trick us, they're trying to see if we're paying attention, and those are two different things. Like, they've told us specifically what we need to know, and that's what they're testing. They're just testing it in a clever way. But I know all these different testing formats, people usually do better with some than others. I have practiced all of them a lot, also from the IB, so I am fairly comfortable in all of them, which makes it a lot easier for me to switch between them. Some exams will have all of them, but some people are just saying, like, I'm not good at multiple choice, I'm never going to do well because I'm not good at multiple choice. And it's like, well, you can learn. The most difficult thing with law school is that people aren't prepared for when they fuck up. So at some point in law school, like, you're gonna fall off the horse. Like, you're gonna get, at some point something's gonna go wrong, and you need to have the right tools for yourself. You need to know yourself enough to know what to do to keep going after that. So even if you're, like, not doing right, or you had a bad midterm, or you lost motivation, or you had a cold for 3 days, you need to know how to pick yourself back up and keep moving. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind and it's going to be overwhelming and you're not going to be able to do it. If you know yourself and you're in it for the right reasons, and you're taking advantage of the resources you have available to you, both as a student and in your community and with your family, then hopefully law school should not be too bad. So overall, I don't think law school is necessarily that hard. I think you just need to have a very balanced life, that you need to be able to balance things. It's a lot harder to just focus in on one aspect of your life. Like in undergrad, you could do that and sort of get away with it. No more in law school. You have to be able to juggle multiple things at once. You have to be fairly organized. You have to be on top of things. You have to keep your word. And you have to remember that your legal reputation, or like professional reputation in the legal field, starts in law school. Anyways, you guys, I hope that made some sort of sense and that you have a little bit of a better understanding of what people maybe are referring to when they said that law school is hard or not hard, and that what I'm saying makes sense. Again, take it with a grain of salt. My opinion, my life is obviously drastically different than yours. So Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments down below. If you're wondering about something specific about law school in the US that maybe I can help you with. If you have specific questions, or if you went to law school either in the US or somewhere else and you want to leave your own experiences down below so we can have like a little community of people helping each other. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to you guys later. Bye!